Hello, my name is Matt Ammerman, and I am your guide this year for AP Human Geography. Now, when talking about AP Human Geography, the first question most people typically ask me is, what is AP Human Geography? What is just human geography in general? Now, the College Board, they'll give you a long-winded, verbose definition of what human geography is. But when you go, after reading that, let me break it down a little simpler. What does human geography really teach? What does human geography really assess? Well, we talk about why is that there and what is the impact of that being there. So, when you talk about like a particular business or a group of people or a certain cultural facet, why is that there and what is the impact of that being there? We'll discuss that this year. How does geography impact people's lives? So, how does being around a certain place influence you? We'll talk about that. How does geography impact businesses and society? Obviously, being around a larger population is going to influence a business much more than not being around people, or vice versa. We'll talk about that this year. How do people impact geography? So, how does the human race, how does the human species influence the geography? And it really has, and we'll talk about that this year. And how can we use geography to be successful? If you understand the interactions between people, if you understand the connections between certain geographic concepts, then you can use that to be successful in any kind of business endeavor, or you can be successful in terms of seeking a job. We'll talk about all those things this year. Now, to give you an example of human geography in action, let's turn back the hands of time. Let's go back to the 1950s, and we just got out of World War II, and President Eisenhower wanted to make sure that we had a way to connect the country in case of a future conflict. And so he created, or the government created, the Interstate Highway Act. And so in the 1950s, a series of highways were being constructed to connect this country quicker than ever before. And part of that was Interstate 83. Now, when Interstate 83 was created, it created an influx of people into Southern York County, predominantly from Baltimore City and northern Baltimore County and the surrounding areas. And so when that happened, Susquehannock High School, which had just been created as the Pennsylvania schools had consolidated in the 1950s, Susquehannock High School, because of the growth as a result of Interstate 83, became the campus that we know today, between Southern Middle School and the high school campus as we currently know it, and Southern Elementary. If you take a look at the football field and the field hockey field and the baseball diamonds, you see that that was a far cry from the school in the 1950s. So Interstate 83 directly influenced the growth of this school. So you live in the area, you obviously are in the school district, and if you travel to 83, then you have come across the Shrewsbury. We used to be exit 1, currently exit 3, and because of the population growth in this area, this exit is no longer as efficient as it could be. And so the Department of Education, the Department of Transportation in Pennsylvania decided to have a little construction. They are renovating the area and creating what they call a diverging diamond interchange, which will hopefully be done in the near future. And that is a direct result of human geography. These are concepts that we'll be talking about throughout the year. Now, what kind of work will you have during the year? Well, you're going to have work that actually directly is influenced by what we do in class. So obviously, Canvas is the one-stop shop. It is where you're going to get all of your excellent resources. The textbook is digitally placed there. The assignments and activities will be on Canvas. It is one-stop shopping. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of navigating Canvas. And so at any time, if you ever have any questions about that, please reach out and contact me. What assignments do in this class, whether they're large or small, allows me to make sure that you're on track and you're learning and you're mastering the skills that we want you to master in this class. So how do we gauge progress? How am I going to, on a large scale, figure out, how you're doing? And that we're going to be doing exams and quizzes. For every unit, you're going to have at least one vocab quiz, and we typically have a vocab quiz per chapter. Every unit, we're going to have a map quiz, different areas of the world, just to make sure you have a general idea of where things are in the world. Each unit, 7 of them all in all, you will have a unit exam for each of those units. So 7 unit exams throughout the year. And those unit exams will be divided into 2 parts. The first part will be constructed response, free response question essays, typically 3. And then the second part of that will be multiple choice. And obviously, we're going to have fewer in the beginning of the year than we are at the end of the year. But ultimately, what this will do, it will model the AP exam. And one cool thing about this class is that, let's say you struggle a little bit on a particular exam or a project. And if that project or exam or quiz is more than 20 points, you have the opportunity for corrections, which ultimately is what we want. We want you to learn from your mistakes if you make mistakes, and it's a great opportunity. What are the benefits of the class? Well, you're going to learn why, on a small scale, why businesses and people are located, why they are. Why did the population of Southern York County grow in the 1970s and 80s and early 90s? Well, because access to 83, higher taxes in Maryland drove people to the rural utopia of Southern York County, et cetera. We'll learn about those things on a small and large scale. Why do people in the world have certain things, and why do people not have certain things? A lot of that's based upon their geographic location and their proximity to resources. You'll gain an appreciation for the world on an economic scale and a cultural scale unlike ever before in your curriculum. And obviously, when you take the exam in the spring, you have the opportunity to gain college credit. And what about those results? In AP courses, you are graded on your final exam or your AP exam on a 1 to 5 scale. 3, 4, and 5 are considered passing. And in the previous 14 years in this class, 937 kids have taken this class. And what you see here, this includes the spring 2020 results. This is the result. So you have an 80.3% chance of getting at least a 3 in this class based upon previous year's results. Most colleges will take a 3 in human geography. Some will need you to have a 4. I know Temple and the University of Pittsburgh do require a 4 or higher, but Penn State, York College, and other schools like that, they take a 3. And so at any point during the course, if you have questions, please contact me, matt.amberman@sycsd.org.